Okay, so now we are going to, set the sound post without any specific instrument. You need to just have one fork. Look at this. So you need something to like this. To make this actually, and you should be careful to give to this fork a kind of shape that is proper to go inside F holes in violin and not make damage the violin. So as you can see, it goes easily inside the violin, although my violin has very tighter probably F holes, but this fork goes inside without problem. So the thing is that you should loosen or remove all the strings, and I recommend you to remove all the strings for the first time that you're putting your sound post, because gives you this hole gives you the possibility to better see what happens inside, and if the sound post is properly set or not. So what you should really be careful about this instrument is that you should put a proper space for it to to take this sound post inside the violin. So when it's inside, you should be able to grip the sound post inside the violin, get it through here, and then from the other side you take it. Another tool that you need is any kind of metal that is of this shape, whatever, so that you can do the same thing and help this fork to release the sound post when it's properly put in its own place. So let's see what happens. So I'm putting this fork inside, and then the other thing is that when you put this, whatever you are putting in the violin, you should keep it always tight to this side. If not, you will damage this outer edge of the violin, and you don't want to do this. So when you take it always this side, it'll be it'll touch the inner edge of the violin, whatever it is. So you should keep a small pressure, a very tiny pressure that keeps this metal always in touch with the inner edge of the violin, Then the other thing is that on the sound post you might see some grids. Here it is, and these grids should be this way, actually perpendicular to these grids on the wood, so that this when it is parallel to them, it probably goes inside those grids and makes the violin rip apart, or I don't know, it goes inside the wood. So in order to prevent this, you should be put it this side, but at the beginning it's not important. Then you can once you have put the sound post, you can use this again to somehow turn the sound post, but it's better to put it right away in this way. The other thing is that there's slight slope here that is necessary to sit inside the violin without any gap between the sound post and the upper and lower plates of the violin. So you can probably see that the violin maker in this violin, this is a left-hand violin. That's why I'm starting with this side, the left F hole. So if you have most probably a right-hand violin, you should turn the violin this way. You should start with the fork from the left, from when you see from the bottom, from the left F hole, and you look at the violin and control it from the right one, where the sound post is supposed to be. And you have to actually you have the bass bar here, which is a wooden stick that supports the violin on the D and A and G strings, and you don't want to you know, let the A and E and A strings push the and you know, pressure the violin when it's on the violin. You should loosen these two strings as well. So you might do this procedure when these two E and A strings are loosened, at least one turn or half a turn, so that the pressure is not on your violin, the pressure of these two strings. So let's start and see what happens. So I'm going to, you know, see where this fork is inside, and I'm trying to put this sound post at first touch the inside, the bottom plate, and then I'll push my fork so that these two dents take the fork, take the sound post, and there is about 1 inch space from the bottom of the sound post. So I'm taking the sound post from around 1 inch of distance from the bottom of the sound post. Now, as you can see, it's now under control. Now I'll try to use this instrument or whatever to push the sound post. As you can see, push the sound post on its place, which is a little bit behind the left leg, or in your case right leg of the bridge. In my case, in a left-handed violin, it's on the left side of the bridge. So it should be around between 1 millimeter and the whole thickness of the sound post behind this right leg in your normal violins. But at first you just want to put this somehow direct somewhere near that spot. So as you can see, it's going okay. So when you're done, almost done, okay, as you can see here, we are almost done, but we need to adjust this because it's not on its right place. Now we put this instrument inside and we put it behind the sound post so that we can take off the fork, because at the moment it's not possible. So this side goes inside, it goes behind, as you can see, it goes behind the sound post so that I can take off the fork, because it's, and you should properly control those two things so that you don't damage the violin. Now it's done. As you can see, the fork is coming out. You can probably help it from this side, pushing down so that it's pushing down and open that. Okay, now it's not going. We want to push that sound pulse a little bit farther. Okay, done. As you can see, it's done. The fork is released. Now with these two other dents of the fork, or this place, this instrument, actually I can just push a little bit the sound pulse inside. Now I can see from this hole what happens inside. If the sound pulse is direct, I can check it from this hole, as you can see, and you should be able to see where the sound pulse was before. You can see the mark because the pressure of the sound pulse makes a small, tight, small, tiny mark on both sides. So you start from the bottom side, and now that the sound pulse is put, you should control it. You should control it without, pushing too much on each side of the sound pulse. So if you wanna put the sound pulse a little bit to the left or right, so let's see. Yeah, I see that the sound pulse is somewhere here. It's a little bit far from the leg. So I try to control it from both sides and smoothly. So this is the hard part, because as soon as you push it too much, the sound pulse will fall. Something that you can do is setting the strings so that there's somehow a pressure on it. Something that you can do is pushing a little bit this upper side so that it doesn't really, as you can see. Okay, by pushing this, it doesn't it makes some pressure on it and doesn't let it to fall accidentally with any kind of pressure. So as I can see, I should push still the leg, the foot of the sound pulse to the left side a little bit. So I'll control it, and by using both things, I don't let the sound pulse to have accidental and non-controlled movements. Yeah, as you can see, it's going a little bit to the left side. I'll push it a little bit. Still some more, and take the control of your hand. You should be conscious about what you're doing exactly on the violin, specifically on the F holes. This is why you probably better to not touch your violin if you don't have any experience with this. And so I should still